Hey everyone, and welcome. I have a traveler's notebook spread that I created using the Elle Studio June kit with some of the extras. And the extras are some of these wonderful Jane Alpha stamps in star background. I love it. And also always have those amazing labels. And actually, those two things really inspired me along with the tag in the June kit. There's a relax tag. You'll see that in a little bit because I use it. But I'm using, first of all, to create a background on the left side of my Traveler's Notebook spread using the letter I from the new Jane Alphas with the star background. This kit has a lot of summer themes to it, and it was very inspiring to me. And I decided to try to mimic or reproduce the look of a popsicle stick with a popsicle. So my popsicle stick is going to be the letter I here, using all those ink colors. And then I'm using the ink colors from that, pulling colors from that relax tag. And then I will use, there's a new summertime stamp set. There's a very long image that you could stamp like a label, and you could stamp some of the sentiments, and you could create some cool layered looks to it. I am going to use just part of that stamp set with the star at the end of it to be the top part of my popsicle, but I'm also going to cut some of those labels and use those randomly with some of these little popsicle sticks to create my popsicles. So in the end, it may not technically look like a popsicle on a popsicle stick, but it has that idea. It really just gives such a fun repetition to a background like this, a summertime background. And it creates the texture, it creates the color, the repetition. It's just really a fun way to use these products. So here is that long image that I was talking about. Now, whenever I ink up, I know I say it all the time, but I just want to make sure that if you've not seen my videos, that you know what I'm doing. If I see any ink beading up on an image, I wipe it off and I use an eraser. An eraser really helps prime that image and makes the ink nice and crisp when you stamp with it. Now I'm using a piece of cardstock as a mask to stamp just that top part of the image. And as I stamp this, it really inspires me. I have to use that piece. I love the way it's starting to look with using it as a mask. You'll see as I just keep stamping and stamping, it has a really cool look to it. So I love that. So I will end up using that on this spread. I didn't know if I would for sure, but I did. Now here are the labels. I'm just going to trim those in half, and I'm going to use some of those as well to finish up this background. And then I can step back, take a look at it, and see if there's any other spots that I need to add to a little bit more. In this case, I'm using this label, this half label, and I do have some things that I'll trim off the excess of. I just did not want to have the label to be hanging off at the top, because then that kind of defeats. I won't see the three images or the three lines, the yellow all the way around. I won't have the top of that popsicle. I want to see that top of the popsicle with the label. I don't know if that made sense, but that's why I added another stamped image to that instead, because at least the stamp image is solid. So I'm going to use that lovely piece that I used as my mask. I love how that came out. Layer that on top of one of the June tags. I'm going to use this 4x6 tag and trim that because I love the blue and white stripes. I have a nice colorful background on the left. So the colors that I have on the right are really going to help create a little bit more balance to help the eye rest. There's some places that, even though it's kind of still busy, there's still places of whiteness that, and the patterns that I'm picking are not too much to take away from the other side. It just creates a nice balance. Now I did trim that relax tag. I just wanted to use that part, and I saved that tag for another project. I do want to add some of the fun sentiments. I love Ellie's small font sentiments that she has in her stamp sets, and they create such a really nice layered texture look on your background, on your projects. You can even look at some of her tags and be inspired about how she's created her tags, because a lot of her tags will have, for that current month with that current stamp set, will have a lot of the same sayings. And it's really inspiring to look at that and get ideas to create a background. So that's, I always get inspiration from her projects or her products like that. So I'm picking out random sentiments here that will go with this memory, and I'm using a light gray ink since I have a pretty busy background already. Now I want to create somewhat of a focal point on that left side. So I'm using one of the circle images with the sentiment in black ink. I'm going to stamp it and not re-ink it and just kind of repeat, do like a little ghost stamping around it. And then I'm going to pull out some of the summertime puffy stickers and the June die cuts that are available. And I start layering one of the puffy stickers over one of the die cuts. And I decided I really liked that on the right side. But what I did first, before I'm starting to commit to that right side, is I did add some journaling to that cardstock I used as a mask. And then I'll just commit to some of the hearts on the left side to add some clusters. I love that die cut red and white striped tag or die cut, because it has the lines going horizontally, and then the lines of my cardstock with the ink and that blue and white 4x6 card that I used have the vertical line. So it kind of breaks up the verticalness of the overall design, especially with the traveler's notebook, and it has that horizontal line going. So I like how it breaks that up. So that finishes this up. I hope that you are inspired by the June kit and extras, and thank you so much for watching.